and welcome. We are in the middle of a T20 series between India and Bangladesh, but one of the ace T20 coaches, believe me or not, calls this format slow after the coming of T10. It is cricket's shortest version, played in 90 minutes. ICC thinks it's best suited for the Olympic Games. Well, that's not happening right now, right away. But what I have here right now with me are legends of the game, legends of cricket, Zaheer Khan and former Sri Lankan captain Angelo Mathews talking about T10. Also joining me in the studio is Sajan, the team mentor of Delhi Bulls, who have got a special association with NDTV this year. Welcome, gentlemen, to the studio. Anis, I'll start with you first. Delhi Bulls, a new name. Why did you decide to go with the city of Delhi?
Good afternoon, Rika, and good afternoon to all viewers of NDTV. First of all, getting into NDTV is a privilege. And the reason we decided to have this name Delhi Bulls, because it's the capital of India. Virat Kohli comes out from Delhi, and most importantly, NDTV is from Delhi. So all three good things at one place.
Right, Zaheer, I'll have to do some cricket chat with you. A former World Cup winner with 50 overs format. You played the T20, now the T10. How is it panning out for a bowler like you from the longest format of the game to the shortest format?
Well, first of all, playing cricket is always exciting. That's something which I always look forward to. At different stages in life, you look at different things as well. I think 2 hours at this stage for me is just about right amount of dose of cricket, you can call it. And just to be back in that dressing room atmosphere, soak in the energy which you've always thoroughly enjoyed playing at the highest level. So playing the game and the passion remains the same, and that competitive edge when it comes out, it gives you that rush which you always enjoy.
But what about the balance between the bat and the ball? Isn't it even more lopsided in T10, a format that's only played for 90 minutes?
Well, I've always been saying that it's a batsman's game. There is no doubt about it.
But what do you do as a bowler?
Bowlers win your matches. I mean, that's something which always remains. So as a good bowler, you can make that impact on the game. And shorter the format, the importance of the bowler is going to be even more, because you are expecting bowlers to get hit, but the pressure is on batsmen as well, to score those big runs, and you don't know how much is enough. So you've seen big scores also being put up in T10. Just in 60 deliveries, you've seen like 140, 160, 80, those kind of runs as well, which takes it to like 15, 16 runs per over. So as a bowler, if you can have impact on that and reduce that scoring rate, your value is always going to be higher. So now, I think that's the challenge, and that's something which I always look forward to in terms of finding ways of coming up with answers to the questions which are asked by batsmen.
Zaheer, you've been India's bowling captain. Now, are you mentoring this Delhi Bulls T10 team, the bowlers in the team, to come up with winning strategies? And if that is so, what are those winning strategies coming?
That goes without saying. I think that's the primary motto of playing, and the competitive edge which I'm talking about. Whenever you are out there on the field, you want to win games of cricket. You want to have you want to find answers to what batsman is throwing at you. So that's something which goes without saying in terms of having those discussions around. We have a great unit, and pretty much most of the guys are from the previous year. So this is my second year playing T10. So I'm looking forward to joining the group. Owen Morgan is going to be leading the side. We have Stephen Fleming. So there are a good bunch of guys around, some young talent, young exciting talent, who is ready to take on the world of cricket. So that is something which I'm looking forward to, and having those discussions around. So I think with the right kind of people around, and with good cricketing brains around, I'm sure we'll be having those kind of discussions and make the impact.
I'll ask you more about the team. Anis, tell me, you were a part of the draft, and I believe that was a very quick process that you had to pick up these players. Now, your coach, Stephen Fleming, is saying he's going to bring in the CSK strategy into the T10 dressing room. What is that CSK strategy that is coming into your dressing room?
We all know how Stephen and CSK work, is that they retain their players of the earlier years, and that's what we've also followed. The players who have played with the team for years. So we have picked 7 players from the last year. So that definitely helps in building the team and making sure that we don't have to teach them the same thing. So Stephen is carrying the same formula, and you can't budge or argue with Stephen on this. And that has really helped, because last year also we had 5 players from the first year. So it helps in the team bonding. And players
retaining the core group. That's what you mean. I think we also have Angelo Mathews with us, former Sri Lankan captain. Angelo, welcome to the show. Please tell us how you have decided to take the T10 route back to cricket, because I believe that you've been out of the game for a while with injuries.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. I thank Danis and the entire Delhi Bulls team for having me playing in the T10 league this year. Apart from the IPL, I haven't played any other league. I didn't have the time to sort of play any other league, but I've been having a good couple of months break, and I've been working on my fitness, and I've started bowling as well. So look to contribute and look to contribute in whatever way possible towards achieving the same target which we all 25-30 of us want to achieve.
Angelo, we all know about your skills of being a finisher. Would you say the skills that you have in the 50 overs cricket and the T20 format will translate into T10 automatically, the finishing skills, or do you have to do anything differently now?
I think, look, you just got to play your own game. I think from format to format it differs, and it changes as well. And you've got to try and adapt. The game is much faster. The T10 is just 10 overs. You've got to adapt to the wickets, to the situations, etc. So, I've played a bit of 2020 cricket as well, so I can use my experience in that. So looking forward to it. As I said, I'm really excited to be a part of this team.
Zaheer, Stephen Fleming has said that looking at T10, one feels T20 is boring. Do you feel the same way?
Well, in terms of the time spent is shorter. In terms of the energy on the field is different, because obviously it just finishes in 90 minutes, and 40 minutes is one innings. So it's very dynamic. So I think in that sense, yes, the game finishes quicker. You have to adapt in terms of your warm-ups and how you get ready for the games as well, because we're actually playing 3 games in a day.
Right.
So that also changes the dynamics. So yeah, it's a different energy when you're playing the shortest format so far now of cricket.
Anis, one of the biggest challenges that's facing international cricket today is fans not turning up, not coming to the turnstiles. Do you think this is the right product? This is the product that can get fans back to the game?
Absolutely no doubt. You see, today fans do not have so much of time. Earlier days there used to be 5-day cricket, then it panned down to 1-day cricket, then T20, and now T10, because if you see, people are more glued to football because it finishes in 90 minutes.
Right.
So this format also finishes in that time.
So are you trying to compete with football in that?
You can say in a way, and at the same time I wouldn't be surprised if this enters Olympics, because what Olympics want is that the games to finish quickly and people enjoy. There's lots of action happening in this 90 minutes. It's not only wickets but also 4s and 6s, and there's a lot of drama. Till the end you don't know which team is going to win.
Right. Zaheer, what about you? Do you think this is the correct format, or test cricket being played in the night? What is the way to bring fans back to cricket?
All the cricket is going to remain the way it is. So I think what is important is that being ambassadors to the game, the growth of the game should be constant. So I think so this is the cricket is evolving. Test matches will always be the epitome of cricket. So as a cricketer, you want to prove yourself at the test match level, because it's a complete format. You have to play over the 5 days, and the whole dynamics of it. You have to prove the conditions change. So it's so you need to be a complete player to represent at the test level. But when you talk about 50-over format or a T20 format or T10 format for that matter, I think it's making the lesser teams compete quicker. So then you'll see the growth of the game is going to be at a rapid pace is what I feel. And from that point of view, I think this format will have a lot of value. because you'll see the most of the associate nations also be able to compete with the higher ranked team in a shorter time span. So I think, from that point of view, I like this format.
Now, since we are sitting in India, in the capital of India, I'll have to ask you this question: what will the Indian fans connect to more? A team from Delhi playing in T10 or India playing night cricket?
I think, like I said, it's about enjoying the game. So when India is playing, the emotions are running way high. So and that will always be the case. There is a pride in you when you're watching India play. You want India to win. When you're supporting a club or a franchise, so obviously you're supporting for various reasons. For some it's a player connect, for some it's a city connect, and for some it's just about the way team is carrying on winning. So end of the day it all boils down to how many matches you are winning on the field, what kind of franchise you're building, and what kind of activities you're doing to build that fan base and that connect. So that connect needs to be built over the period of time.
Right. Angelo, to you, what kind of eyeballs will it get from Sri Lanka? I'm talking about this T10 league, since you are there and a few other of your colleagues are also featuring in this league this year.
Absolutely. We've got about 12 or 13 players taking part in this competition. And, as I said before, for the short format, the selectors will also look into these performances of the guys, and most of them are part of the team. So it will be a good experience rubbing shoulders with the elite, the cream of internationals, and it will be great for all the youngsters to learn from Zach. I mean, I call him Zach. I've played with him for years. I've played against him in the national team. So I played for Delhi with him when he was the captain as well. So it's great to pick their brains as well. So it is going to be a great tournament.
Zaheer, do you have to reply to that? He says that he has a lot to learn from you, and
it's always good to interact with Angelo. He's a fine player. So looking forward to joining you in the dressing room, Angelo, for some good old memories and make new memories.
Right, Anis, you have had a great catch this year. Owen Morgan, the World Cup winning skipper, is your captain. Does it help when cricket boards allow their players or release their players for a period of time to play tournaments like this? Because the English board clearly has done it. And how much has the league benefited by their plans, their strategies?
See, when you have big players like Zaheer Khan, Angelo Mathews, Morgan, it definitely adds to the league and to the franchise. Now, just to answer one question which you asked Zach as well as Mathews about Test cricket, these guys have all played cricket at the highest level.
Right.
And still they are playing this format, because I've always believed that temperament is what separates the men from the boys. Zach mentioned about the teams are able to compete, but it's the experience of Angelo Mathews and Zach when finishing a game or when bowling the death overs definitely comes into account. And that is the reason we have picked players like Zaheer, we pick players like Shoaib Malik, we play players like Angelo Mathews, because they have a lot of experience, and experience can never be beaten. And obviously the big names add value to the team.
I think you've already given me a segue to my next question, which is about Shoaib Malik. Has he got an NOC? And I believe there are reports of Imran Khan not wanting players to play in the T10 league, whereas he's been one of those pioneers of playing pajama cricket back in his days.
Well, I only understand the language of cricket. I'm not sure what has happened, what the Prime Minister has spoken about, that he's not going to give an NOC. I'm very, very hopeful that the Pakistani players, especially Shoaib Malik and other guys, will get the NOC. Because we are talking about cricket building bridges, and I've always believed that cricket builds bridges, and that's the best way forward.
Zaheer, you will be sharing the dressing room with Owen Morgan, the English captain. Now, tell me, Virat Kohli, Owen Morgan, how do you describe their captaincy skills? I'm not going to ask you who's better, but how different would you say are these two?
Virat is a very driven cricketer, and he likes to carry himself in that fashion when he's leading a team as well, and that's been evident since the time he has taken the leadership mantle with the team. On Morgan, obviously, he's coming on a high. He has experience of leading a side. Has won the World Cup, so that is something which will definitely help him, because it's a high pressure tournament, and when you are actually taking that kind of a responsibility on playing that kind of a tournament and able to win the cup, so that really takes you to that another level in terms of dealing with pressures. So I think that with that regard, he will be in tune with what's expected of him from this franchisee, and this franchisee has been very good in terms of giving that comfort to the players, in terms of going out there, expressing themselves on the field. This is the third season of T10, so we expect the team to do wonders and get that cup home. I think that's very important, and Eoin Morgan for sure has the capability of motivating the whole unit to be able to perform to the best of our abilities and win that cup.
Angelo, to you, since we are talking about T10, with T20 we have seen several innovations. With T10, are you in particular going to bring any new innovation? Do we see any new shot coming off your blade in Abu Dhabi?
Well, that's for me to keep and you to find out. But look, it's all about innovation. The game, as I said before, has gotten faster and faster, and it will be in the future as well. So you see players coming up with all sorts of shots, and it will definitely be a nightmare for the bowlers.
Zaheer, we have seen T20 has been able to throw up a bunch of bowlers for India. In fact, if we track Jasprit Bumrah's rise, it has been from T20. Do we see T10 do a similar thing in years ahead? I mean, they create new pool of bowlers for respective national teams.
So I think now there are so many avenues, so many platforms for young cricketers to showcase their talent. Cricket is growing with that regard. If you look at the way things are happening even around the domestic circuits, and not only with the with the Indian domestic circuit, I think just the way matches are also covered. So when you have that kind of access as a youngster, every game is an opportunity to showcase your talent, and anyone can any of the scouts can see them and give them that opportunity, give them that break, which can take them a long way in their career. So from that point of view, it's very important, and talent is something, in my case also it was something which just happened. So passion was always there, but you need that stroke of luck as well at the right time, and those breaks. So I think these platforms are actually going to help global cricket finding more and more talent.
Would you say it's because of rise of T20 in India over the last 10 years or so that we've been able to kind of put together a bunch of these fast bowling talents who are now not only claiming wickets in the shorter formats, but the way they have performed in Test cricket as well?
There is no doubt about that. I think IPL in 2008 has made that paradigm shift. So that was very important for cricket on the whole. And since then, if you look back, last 10 years, 11 years now of IPL, we've been able to find a lot of great talent, and also the cricket infrastructure, the awareness and the access to knowledge. Also, there are means of getting that knowledge which was not there, be it in terms of academies, National Cricket Academy, and the whole setup of cricket in our country has definitely improved.
Anis, when we talk about a tournament like this, what is it doing to it is for the elite cricketers, I understand, and it is for getting fans and eyeballs, but is it also improving the infrastructure of the sport in some way and tapping into the grassroots?
Very, very rightly said, Rika, that definitely it helps for the local cricket, because in this format you have to play one UAE player, then there is one player you got to play from an upcoming cricketer. So this definitely helps not only the local cricketer as well as the upcoming cricketer. I still remember Mujib and the Sherfan Rutherford who played for ourselves. Mujib was picked by Punjab and Sherfan was picked by Delhi, and now he's going to play for Mumbai Indians. So this is an opportunity for them to showcase their talent, and then they are picked up by big leagues
Angelo, talking about Sri Lanka, Zaheer just spoke about how the infrastructure in cricket in India improved because of IPL. Would you say that today Sri Lankan cricket is lagging behind because there hasn't been much of infrastructure built around what has already been existing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we don't have a league of our own. I mean, that gives opportunities for the younger players, as I said before, to rub shoulders with the cream of international players. That exposure you can never get from anywhere else. So you've got to sort of play in those leagues. And we've, benefited so much by playing in the IPL, playing in the leagues, and also there are a few other guys who played like in the likes of Virat Kohli and all these guys who have played. And if you play against the top quality teams and top quality international players, you obviously learn, and then you can take that learning towards the national team as well. So unfortunately, we don't have a league of our own, and I hope SLC will start one soon.
You mentioned about Lasith Malinga, and Sri Lanka had this great tradition of producing non-conventional players. Where is it gone? Where are they hiding?
There are quite a few guys still around. It's just that they don't have the exposure to play against the top international players. It's just that the domestic you see guys coming through, but then the quality is either in the national team or playing against such quality guys in the international level. So you can't really see them unless we start a league on our own, or unless they make it to the national team.
Right. Two last questions, Anis, to you first. What was going to be the X factor of this league this year, the third season?
For the league?
Yeah.
Big players playing in the league, like Morgan, Zaheer, and Mathews, Kusal Pereira from my team, as well as there are Hashim Amla, all the big boys playing in the league. And most importantly,
what about Delhi Bulls? What's going to be the X factor?
Experience.
Okay.
I mean, I believe experience, nothing can beat experience, and that's going to be the X factor.
Right. Zaheer, you are going to be, having an alumni of sorts. Yuvraj is also there, you are there, and so many of your former teammates. So what is it that motivates you to go back year after year and, join this bandwagon and play cricket?
It's the right time frame. I think, 10, 12 days, 9 days tournament, and the whole journey of getting ready for it gets me going physically as well. And when I'm out there, that competitive edge, I think, that like I always say, it's a perfect dose of cricket. In a year, if you're playing, say, that 3 weeks, 4 weeks of cricket, it just gets you back there, enjoying around the dressing room and going out there and getting that adrenaline going.
Running,
yes.
Yeah. Would you say freelance cricket is the way to go for players like you who finish top level cricket and still want to go on?
I think so. I think, I mean, when I decided to walk away from cricket, I think what was the reason? It's just that grind which goes on year in, year out was not easy. And I always believed that I wanted to walk away from international cricket when I'm at the highest level and feeling comfortable. So I wanted to retire on a high. So that's what I did. But passion for the game and that involvement and that excitement, if it's there in short bursts, that is also has its own charm. So I think I'm in it for that, just out there to express myself, share the knowledge with the youngsters. That's one thing, but going out there and getting that competitive edge out as well.
Thank you very much, Zaheer. Thank you very much, Anis. Angelo, thank you very much for joining us on the show.